This video is for anyone that has felt like God has forgotten about them, that has gone through a storm and is on the other side of it, and they're wondering, why did I go through it? Or you're in it and it feels like you're all alone. I have a story for you. Easter, I sang at church like any other Easter, and I got very sick. I had a fever. I was hallucinating that evening, and my mom and my friends prayed for me, and my friends watched over me, that evening. I woke up the next morning and I felt fine. And so I went home to Corona and went on about my day. And by that Saturday, I was swollen in this area, and I'm thinking it's a tooth that I need to take care of. So I went to the dentist and I could barely open my mouth. The dentist said that they can't do anything with this. I couldn't open my mouth, so I went home with antibiotics and pain meds, and it only got worse. So I went back, and by this time the mass had taken up the whole side of my face and underneath, and so I went to the ER and they said it was facial cellulitis. I went home with antibiotics and pain meds, and by day 8 it went down a bit but not enough, and I went back and I was admitted. I sat in that hospital for 5 days, and then I got transferred to another hospital, and they did the procedure and it went well. A doctor comes in and tells me my kidneys are failing. And they're failing because I was allergic to the antibiotics. So by this time I had fever and hives, and my kidneys were only functioning 20%. And then at this time I'm thinking, God, where are you? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And so I felt so alone. I don't think I've ever felt that alone. They took me off of the antibiotics, and so they put me on something else that wasn't as strong. A few days later, another doctor comes in and tells me that my heart rate is through the roof and that I need a blood transfusion. Up until this time, I didn't feel God. I didn't think that he was there with me. So I prayed and I said, I need a peace that only you can give me. That's how I'll know that this is what I need to do. And that's the first time I felt him, and I felt such a peace. And so I went through it and I did it. And a few days later I went home. I'm thinking that it's over. My jaw is still shut. I cannot eat. I haven't eaten for the whole month of April. I had a few things, but nothing heavy at all. I go home and in every inch of my body, my skin is inflamed and burning, and I was in so much pain. And so I call my friend Emily, who's an RN, and she tells me that it's the side effect of the antibiotics. So there's nothing I could do but ride it out, and I wasn't going back to the hospital because I spent 2.5 weeks in the hospital. So I just went through it, and by the second day, my skin had died completely. I tried putting lotion on it, and the lotion just sat on top of it. It didn't absorb it. The skin was dead. By the next day, it started to split and shed, and it looked like a sunburn, but from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And I had to start eating again, and I wanted to throw up the food because my body wasn't used to food, and I was depressed. I felt so alone. I had a fever the whole time. I was swollen, and I had to change the bandages. My face was still open and all kinds of things, and I legit was just asking God, where are you? I don't feel you at all. And it felt like he left me, or that I was being punished. And my mom, she was amazing. She made me eat she made me get up and get in my car and drive around Corona because I needed to get back into my routine. Anytime my head was down, she told me to lift my head up. And I was so defeated. I felt like I was in it by myself. My sister Mallory came every weekend with watermelon because that was the only thing I could eat. And she sat with me and she let me vent. And she let me cry. And one day, I felt God, and I felt like it was time to start writing. And so I started writing, and he was showing me how I hadn't finished my EP because I had to go through this, because now I have a story to tell. I almost died because the doctors told me that it's a miracle that I walked out of there because my body didn't fight the infection, but God did, you know, and he was with me through the whole thing. He was right. He went before me, he was behind me, and he was on the side of me the entire time. And so I began to write, and I began to eat, and I start talking to my friends again because I kind of shut myself off. I drove to LA and to surprise my best friend Trey and my brothers and sister Shamika and Jay Jones and Frank and Corey. And the whole way there I cried because I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that drive again. But I did it. And I got here and I surprised them, and it was amazing. And even then I couldn't really open my mouth to sing, but I would sing anyways. Even it hurt. It was swollen, so it hurt to do so, but I know that that's what God called me to do. And so if he called me to sing, and if that's my gift, why would he allow something to shut my mouth? You know, and so I didn't see that then, but coming out of it, I seen it. And so I just trusted and believed his promise to me. And I needed to tell this story, and I didn't want to, but we overcome by the word of our testimony. And so this is my testimony, and the song that I'm singing, Even When It Hurts, it's a Hill song, and that's exactly what I was going through. Even when it hurts, I'll still praise you. Even though I don't feel you, I'll still praise you. And I want to encourage those that are going through something. Hold on to your faith. Hold on to God. He brought you through the last thing. He'll bring you through this too. And he loves us so much. He loves you, and he's not going to leave you, and he'll never forsake you. The most amazing part about going through is that you're going through. You're not stuck, and you don't have to stay in that place that you're in, and keep fighting. There was a time where I didn't want to fight anymore. I was done. You have too much to lose to give up. And so I just want to encourage you and tell you that I love you and to hang in there.